Hey, y'all. Hi. Oh my goodness, I see Kel. Hey, Kel. Look at you. Doing a little better every day. Thanks for asking. Well, thank goodness you're doing a little better every day. We've missed you, ma'am. We have missed you. Yes, we have. How are you guys? Hey, Sherry. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Miss King. And Miss Kel. Hi, guys. How are you all tonight? So, Kel, I'm going on late this week, each day because um, husband is home on vacation this week. He is home on vacation this week. So, it's been a little bit of a wonky week. Hey, Billy. How are you? How is everybody? How are you guys? All right. So, ooh, nice. Went to work for just a couple hours today, my first day back. There you go. I'm glad that you felt good enough to do that. Just don't overdo it, okay? Promise that you won't overdo it. Promise, promise. You're welcome. I love you. Hey, Margaret. You made it. Hi. All right. So, we're going to talk today about the Black Swan trial. We're going to get ready for it. I don't know much about it at all. There is a poll in the chat for you guys to answer. Steph, I just started and I did this stream specifically for you, ma'am. You. She's like, you're going to have to do this one or I'm not here no more. I'm leaving and I'll never come back. Okay, good deal, Kel. Good promises. I like that you keep your promises. I did point at her. See, I got that whole brand new camera right there. I like the camera. It is pretty clear, right? I like that. Okay, so we're going to get started. All right. I have a couple of articles and a couple of videos to try to get dove into this. I don't know. Let me find the one I want to start with. Margaret says, I know zilch about this case. Well, then I'm assuming you answered that first option in the poll, huh? The not a zip zilch. All right. So we have a couple of articles. Let's see. Yeah, we've only been on here, Steph, about 7 minutes. And 2 or 3 minutes of that was the intro music. So you literally just caught us. Oh my goodness, Margaret. A letter sent, your old boss sent you a letter of recommendation today with 3 typos. Wow. Moi? Kel, right? Watched a Court TV episode about this, so I know a little bit. I know very little. Only what I've watched today, really. I mean, I knew that she was a ballerina. I knew that she was charged with, his murder and that she's claiming self-defense. Apparently, they had a stand your ground hearing like a year ago. So, and apparently the judge was like, no. So, I don't know. But lots of things about this one. And Yeah, let me move this one article over here. And this is kind of a not quick because it's a long article, but it is like a really good rundown. So let me present this screen. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So, I did put, I know, I'm sure you guys can see it because it's like blaring right there in the top right corner of the screen. It says disclaimer, fair use notice under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. So that is the fair use disclaimer. But I wanted to put it on the screen somewhere where, you know, sources can see that I have that disclaimer here. Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. Disclaimer, fair use notice under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. All right, all right, all right. So, bombshells, a ballerina and her husband shot in the bedroom. What we know about the Benefield murder case. She was shot? I thought it was just him. Why is it making it sound like she was shot too? Or am I confused? Um, yes, Margaret. Her. So her name is Ashley Benefield. Okay. Um, it talks about these hearings here. Okay. They kind of start off with this. It says 2 days of motion hearings are scheduled to kick off Thursday for Ashley Benefield, 31, the former model and ballerina accused of shooting and killing her husband, Douglas Benefield, 58. Big age gap there. Like almost 30 years difference. Inside their Lakewood Ranch, Florida home in September 2020. Ashley Benefield's defense team filed a motion for dismissal, meaning they want the case and charges dropped, claiming Doug Benefield was an abusive husband and she shot and killed him in self-defense. There's a picture of them, and she's in this beautiful gown, right? Hey, Miss King. The grammar in the headline is wrong, right? Miss King says this one is different in the way that they both seem to have a side that is iffy. Really? He's iffy too? Hmm. That's a pretty picture. They're a pretty couple. I mean, he's old enough to be her dad, though, that's for sure. In 2016, okay, so now this is where we get into the meat of it, the from the beginning, okay? Because the first couple of paragraphs that I just read were basically just like updates, so to speak. Just updates. Hold on, I want to split this screen. Yeah. If I can figure out how to do it. Hold on, you guys. I am struggle busing right now. Hold on a minute. La 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 la. Where do I? No, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. Dang it. Dang, dang, dang. Hold on. guys, I'm a train wreck. Un momento. Hold on a minute. Let me stop sharing and let me get my wits about me. I'm trying to make it so that I can see a couple of things at one time. Okay. Now, bum, 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 bum. Tabs I've opened. Frequently visited. Oh, well, that's nifty. Hold on. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Oh my God. Let me go to my history. Lord love a duck. You guys, I completely lost the page I was looking for. Hold on, I'll find it. I'll find it. Or so help me, so help me. All right, there's my history. Tab recently closed. Reopen closed tab. No, that's not the one I want. Oh my God. You guys are so awesome to Margaret's like I promise I'll get my crap together. I promise I will. Mm. Bum 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 bottom. Bum bum bottom bottom bum. Is this it? I think this is it. Yes. You guys. I found it. All right. Now let me X out of these other things. All right. Sorry about that little mishap. Oopsie daisy. All right. Now let me share it again. Holy crapola. All right. Now we're back. We're back in the saddle again. We're back. All right. So now, finally, we're going to get to this part here. What I was talking about beforehand, before all of the whole rigmarole, before I like shut the whole thing down, was where they had tried to have the charges dismissed and the judge was like, no, blah, blah, blah. So now what we're getting into is the timeline, so to speak. Timeline. Oh, thank you, Kel. I've had these for quite a while. I actually got these back when Grace was here last summer. They're my bifocals. But I actually, if I'm not even going to lie, still want to wear these. You remember these when I used to wear these all the time? Those are my favorites. But they're not bifocals. And so when I wear these, I have to wear readers over top of them to do things. All right. So, hey, QB, I didn't see you pop in. Hey, baby. Miss King says, I think he did have anger problems, but she, I think, was using him, and I'm not sure all her claims were true. All right. Thank you. Yes, make sure to put your thumbs up. Put your thumbs ups. Give us a thumbs up. We like the thumbs up over here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the other YouTube things. Like, share, subscribe, hashtag replay. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right. So back to this. In 2016, this is where the story begins. Let me tell you a little story. All right. In 2016, the Benefields first met at a Republican fundraiser in Palm Beach. Ashley Benefield was a 24-year-old model and ballerina, and Doug Benefield was a recently widowed 54-year-old veteran from the Navy. 24, 54. So definitely a 30-year age difference there. 30-year age difference. That's a big age difference. QB says, Miss King, I'm usually inclined to believe a DV victim, but from what I can tell, nothing she reported was substantiated. Wow. All right. So they meet in 2016, right? In Florida. And 30-year age difference. 2 weeks after meeting, they were married. Why is that giving me no, that's not right. I was going to say, why is it giving me like Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell vibes? But that wasn't the case. They didn't get married 2 weeks after meeting. They got married 2 weeks after he killed his wife. Yeah. So Doug Benefield's first wife, Renee Benefield, died 9 months prior to their wedding from a heart condition. He was no, that's not the right word. He was a technology consultant, and had started several businesses. Ashley Benefield wanted to start her own ballet company. So with Doug's help, they created the American National Ballet in Charleston, South Carolina. The ballet company failed quickly. So, you guys, do we think, now I don't know, but do we think from the sounds of it, she saw a meal ticket? Is that what we're going for? She saw his money and was like, I'm going to marry him. He can make my hopes and dreams come true, right? Is that where we're going with this? Just wondering. QB said there was a story that he discharged his gun into the ceiling. He admitted that he shouldn't have done it, and there was nothing after that. She accused him of essaying their daughter to try to keep him from having custody. He was religious, and they said maybe he moved quick because he didn't want to be intimate. Well, there's that. I mean, that can make sense. But Miss King says, I agree with that. I know they said he hit a dog in anger. See, I did read that. I think that is in this article or another article that I read. But yeah, he had admitted apparently to hitting a dog and like punching his fist through a wall or something. And if I'm not mistaken, the quote said that it was because Ashley made him mad or something. I don't know. All right. Um, so yeah, they meet and um immediately, I guess, he helps her start this ballet company, which quickly failed. It was a bust. It was a no-go. Here's a picture of her with ballet shoes on, doing the whole pointy toe thing. The whole pointy toe, pointy toe, pointy toe. The dog is cute. I wonder if that's the dog he allegedly hit. I don't know. Soon after launching the company, the Benefields found out they were expecting a baby. Now, I know that she paid for him to have a um, vasectomy reversal surgery. Because she wanted a baby. Soon after launching the company, the Benefields found out they were expecting a baby. Due to a challenging pregnancy, Ashley moved from South Carolina to Florida to be with her mother. Challenging pregnancy. Ashley moved from South Carolina to Florida to be with her mother and gave birth in March 2018. Shortly after, things started to crumble and a nasty battle over custody of their baby began. Wow, that was quick. Right? That was quick. Court documents show Ashley Benefield did everything in her power to keep Doug away from her and their baby, even filing DV claims in court. Ashley said Doug tried poisoning her and was poisoning, really? And was psychologically abusive. At an injunction hearing, the judge went on the record advising that they did not find Ashley's story to possess a scintilla of truth. So she lied. She lied, huh? Did she lie? Talk about the black swan, right? Wow. Nada. Not a scintilla. Not a scintilla. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Nothing, cuties. Chatter is that the mom was in her ear. Ashley's mom was in her ear. They did hair follicle testing to see if she was poisoned. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I want to know that the hair follicle testing was that. Do you mean they did that to test to see if she had any sort of poison? Okay. Yes. QB said yes. Okay. Okay. Here's a picture of him, Doug. Says Doug Benefield, courtesy of Tommy Benefield via WFLA. So if I'm not mistaken, Tommy is his cousin. I think Tommy Benefield is Doug's cousin. I did see some, where I think it was on Court TV with Vinnie Politan, and there was a little interview that he did with Doug's daughter, the first daughter he had with uh, the first wife. I think her name was they said Renee. That was pretty interesting. So if we have time, we'll watch some of that. Stuff like this irritates me to my soul. There are legitimate claims of DV and SA, and for someone to use it in this manner infuriates me. To be fair, I have not heard all of the evidence, so I'll reserve. We have to be patient with QB. She might still be typing with one hand. I don't know. But I know where you're going. On September 27th of 2020, here we get into the murder. It says here, the murder. All right. On September 27th of 2020, dispatchers, these advertisements on these websites are like completely like throwing me for a loop. I'm like, wait a minute. They're changing. And they make me like, yeah. Oh, she says, so I'll reserve my opinion for after the trial, but this fair. I think she meant, but this far. It's there. I think it came in late, QB. All right. September 27th, 2020, dispatchers in Manatee County received a 911 call around 6 p.m. from a man who said his neighbor had just run over to his home yelling for help, claiming her husband had just attacked her, so she shot him. That neighbor was later identified as Ashley Benefield. First responders said it was clear the victim, Doug Benefield, had been shot at least 2 times in the master bedroom. A medical examiner reported one of the rounds entered the outside of his right leg and exited the inside of his right leg. The other round appeared to have skipped the right bicep and entered Doug's chest cavity from his right side. Here she is doing a little ballet pose. Based on the entry wounds on Douglas, it does not appear that he was facing Ashley when she began shooting. Court documents state. It also does not appear that Douglas had taken any kind of defensive or combative stance. So that tells me he didn't see it coming. And he had his back to her. But my question is why would you shoot somebody in the leg if you're trying to kill them? You know what I mean? You wouldn't shoot somebody in the leg if you were trying to kill them. Hey, Patricia. Good to see you. You wouldn't, yeah, and you wouldn't, I mean, now, I'd have to see how the positioning was. Because I'm not envisioning it. Hold on, let me go back. First responders said it was clear the victim had been shot at least 2 times in the master bedroom. A medical examiner reported one of the rounds entered the outside of his right leg and exited the inside of his right leg. But what part of the leg, right? The other round appeared to have skipped the right bicep and entered Doug's chest cavity from his right side. Um, doesn't appear that he was facing her. Well, if he wasn't facing her, maybe he was sideways, not like directly with his back. Otherwise, how else would it have skipped the bicep and went into his chest? So he had to have been like at a side angle, not front on. I don't know. The medical examiner also confirmed after being shot, Doug Benefield fell to the ground, and it appears that he may have struck his head on the wall on the way down, court documents state. He did have an abrasion on the back of his head, which matched a small patch of disturbed drywall on their bedroom wall. Oh, okay. 4 shots were fired. 4 .45 caliber casings were found on the master bedroom floor, a police affidavit said. A loose projectile was also found on the floor, and 2 more were found embedded in the walls of the home. Ooh. Okay. But see, that also tells me if he didn't have 2 wounds, I mean, if he only had 2 wounds, the other bullets, why would they have been in the wall? Um, you know what I mean? Oh, you've been there just lurking? Mhm. True, why in the back if he was attacking her? But if it skipped the bicep and went into his chest cavity, it didn't go through his back. What do you mean don't say positioning, Steph? What do you mean? Uh, hey, Nicole. She said, I just saw the interview of his daughter from his first marriage. If she is called as a witness, she will be damaging to the defense because she saw a lot. Yeah, right. I was watching an interview on Vinny but it was like a year old, I think. Steph, what do you mean by the don't say positioning? I don't know what you mean. Don't ask. Well, okay. Well, then, jeez, Louise. Okay. All right. Let me go back. Let me go back. So we have 4 shots were fired. 4 were fired. 1 was loose. Well, wait. Is the loose one of the 4? I'm confused. And 2 were found embedded in the walls. So I'm just thinking if she's like trying to like get away from him, if he's attacking her, um, then I could see how she'd be like willy-nilly, like bang, 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 and 2 of them fly into the wall. 1 hits his leg, another one hits, him sideways. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Steph. All right. Let me see. So he hit his head on the way down. He hit his head on the wall on the way down. And he had an abrasion on the back of his head, which matched a small patch of disturbed drywall on their bedroom wall. All right. Okay. So here is, okay. Ooh, we're going to get into her arrest affidavit, Ashley Benefield's arrest affidavit. Here's a picture of her. I think I read that this was a photo of her painting the new studio, the ballet studio, or maybe she was painting in the house. I don't know. Um, right, Margaret? We're not going to ask anymore. Oh, Steph is apparently doing a little sexting. Okay. Let me go back. Yeah. But she looks like a ballerina there, right? The way she's posing. All right, here we go. A warrant for Ashley Benefield's arrest was filed about 6 weeks after the crime on November 4th, 2020. It happened, September 27th? So about 6 weeks after the warrant for her arrest was filed, charging her with second-degree murder with a firearm. Well, Steph, ma'am, jeez, I'm so sorry, but put AirPods in, ma'am. You're sitting here telling me things not to say, and then when sorry, Aiden. Great. Now, you know, ma'am. Now I'm mortified. Jeez. All right, let's go. Mm-mm-mm-mm. The arrest affidavit presented the above facts of the case and confirmed when first responders tried to question her about what had happened. Her legal counsel had already arrived at the crime scene, and her counsel told police she did not want to make a statement. Wow. Um, when first responders tried to question her about what happened, her legal counsel had already arrived. So she was already had them on speed dial. She was like, I did something bad. I need you here right now. Or so help me. So help me. Um, Ashley did, here the affidavit reads, it says, Ashley did, however, make a spontaneous statement to me advising her ears were still ringing. Okay. Photographs were taken of Ashley Benefield within an hour of the shooting and a second time a few days later. And there were no injuries on her besides a scratch on her right side, detectives said. The scratch allegedly appeared to be old and very minor. A witness explained Ashley got the scratch on her right side the day before the shooting when she was inadvertently scratched when someone walked by her carrying a box. Mm. So she's trying to blame that on the incident. Hmm. So here it shows the scratch. It's a very poor photo. It's a weird photo, right? Like, why is it so grainy and like black and white? Hopefully they have better photos than that, right? I mean, seriously, I would hope that they would have better photos than that. All right. The injuries documented, it says here, injuries documented in Ashley Benefield's motion for dismissal. Okay, well, if that's what you came to court with, saying, I want this dismissed because I have this scratch that proves that I was being attacked, that's not going to cut it. Um, mm. And you know what? If she is a victim of DV, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. Absolutely none at all whatsoever. And I would never want to uh, put any kind of blame on her for that, right? Um, Not at all. Um, Let me be very clear about that. First and foremost, I feel like these photos here don't show, um, I don't know. I don't know. This doesn't seem to show um, that there are like major injuries. I don't know. At the time the arrest warrant was filed, let me see. At the time the arrest warrant was filed, prosecutors claimed numerous requests had been made to Ashley Benefield's legal counsel to set up an interview to talk about what happened the night of the shooting, but she had not provided a statement or interview. Ouch. The state claims Ashley Benefield was motivated to kill Doug Benefield, saying since she found out she was pregnant with their child, she actively worked to ensure he stayed away from their baby. She filed several DV claims in court, but all were closed and no criminal charges were ever filed. So, I mean, they're saying that she's made several claims, filed several times, but all of them were closed and no criminal charges were ever filed. So that tells me um, either she completely lied and there was no found truth in that at all, or she was severely let down, um, which is true. I do not know. But I mean, my gut instinct is wanting to tell me that she lied. Um, I don't know. Based on these cases, here, we're right here on this section, says, based on these cases and Ashley's actions leading up to the murder of Douglas Benefield, it appears that the main focus of these complaints was to keep the child away from Douglas. The affidavit reads, it appears Ashley had exhausted all legal means of keeping the child away from Douglas before the shooting. So she did everything that she could. She literally did everything she could and nothing worked. From a legal standpoint, I don't know. QB says agreed, and me either, but there's literally nothing that panned out. All of her claims were unsubstantiated. Right. Mm. A judge set Ashley Benefield's bond at $100,000, which she paid. She now has a court-issued curfew, and now this article was posted back in June of 2023, I think. So this has been a while. It says a judge set her bond to $100,000, which she paid. She now has a court-issued curfew and is required to wear an ankle monitor. The former ballerina lives with her mother and now 5-year-old daughter. Oh. Court documents show she has been able to adjust her curfew when needed and has even traveled to Maryland for a wedding. Due to financial hardships, a judge granted Ashley Benefield's defense team's request to waive the monthly cost, $120, of the ankle monitor maintenance. Motion for dismissal. Here's where this comes in, this motion for dismissal. This is a gorgeous photo of her. I'm just going to say. I'm just saying. She's beautiful there, right? Stunning. Gorgeous. Black Swan vibes, though, right? Black Swan vibes. In February of 2023, Ashley Benefield's defense team filed a motion for dismissal, claiming she shot and killed her husband in self-defense. The 105-page motion lays out her side of the story, explaining what happened leading up to the deadly shooting. Oof, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. QB, wonder if we can find that 105-page motion. Ooh. All right, so we're going to get some bullet points, it looks like. Here, I'm assuming is her. Okay, it says this is a diagram of the Benefield's home that was provided as evidence in the motion for dismissal. And because they're talking about this 105-page motion, I'm assuming these are just bits and pieces that Law and Crime Network decided to take out of it as little bullet points. Here it says Ashley Benefield was preparing to move to Maryland with her mother and daughter. Ashley was staying at their home, but Doug was living in a temporary apartment. What? Why is that doing that? Hold on. Oh, are you looking? Nicole says there was no evidence on any of those claims that she had filed. Yes, she had lied and wanted their daughter all to herself and didn't want him to have any contact with their daughter. Why, though? I don't understand that. I think she wanted him for money and a baby. And then she's like, okay, I'm done with you. I don't need you anymore. You think her mom was in her ear? I don't know. Okay. Doug Benefield was planning to move to Maryland with Ashley and their child. They planned to live separately. Doug showed up to their home around 5:30 p.m. Ashley's mother took their daughter to the splash pad. While packing up a U-Haul outside and in the garage, Doug's mood was consistent to his prior history: happy, hyper, and animated, then agitated, sullen, and intimating. Doug allegedly became angry screaming, "We are moving together as a family, make a fresh start, but you're dividing us, and it's time you start acting like a wife." Later, Doug allegedly drove a moving box. Wait a minute. Wait. She wanted that child support money, 18 years. Ooh. Let me get back to this one. Later, Doug allegedly drove a moving box directly into Ashley Benefield in an upward motion, resulting in considerable pain and scratches to her right side. So that is apparently the box that the friend was talking about, right? Remember in that photo that we just saw a few minutes ago, the friend had said that that scratch had happened the day before. Um, because somebody had walked by her with a box. Ashley tried to leave their home, but Doug allegedly grabbed her by the left hand, yanked her backward, and asked her where she was going. He's accused of wagging his finger in her face, stating, "You can't leave me." Ashley snapped, yelling at him to leave. Raising his right hand with a closed fist, the decedent drove his knuckles at the second joint into the left side of Miss Benefield's head. The motion, uh, hold on. The motion reads, her worst fears realized. Ms. Benefield now believed her life was in danger. So this is the diagram of the home. So hold on. Nicole said, "Yeah, that's what everyone's thinking." She wanted that child support money for 18 years, right? Mm. I just don't know if she's narcissistic or has mental health problems or both. I don't know. Hey, Jenny Trioli. Hi. She said, "Hi, Jenny and everyone. I'm gonna have to watch on replay since I'm super late." Oh, that's okay. I'm glad you popped in though. Hi, girl. Hi. Hi, girl. Hi. All right. So we have their house, the diagram, right? So we have here's the bath, Ms. Benefield's bedroom, um, the child's bedroom, the laundry room, bath number 2. Here's the living room, the dining room, and the entry. Okay. Mm, hold on, let me get back down here. All right. It says Ashley ran into the master bedroom and grabbed a gun that she legally owned. Doug allegedly followed her and he barged into the bedroom with a fierce scowl. Ashley pointed the gun at Doug and ordered him to leave her alone and leave the home. He postured like a mixed martial arts fighter, blading, hands parallel with his chest, shoulders, moving his arms, hands in small circular motions in advance. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just got like a visual. You know what I'm saying? He's really going to come at his wife like, "Nah." You know what I mean? That's what I'm envisioning. Is he really going to do that? Does that make sense? I just, I'm sorry. I should not be laughing. That is not funny, but that is funny. Like, it's not funny if that's what happened. But I just cannot envision a husband coming at a woman like that, a wife. I understand not that it's right because it's wrong, but in DV situations, right, it's common for, you know, pushing, shoving, grabbing, choking, all those kinds of things. But I'm just envisioning, like him getting ready to karate chop or something. I don't know. Ashley shot at Doug. Doug allegedly kept moving toward her. She kept shooting. So he advances towards her. She shoots at him. He allegedly keeps moving towards her. She kept shooting. She says she saw the deceased's legs go up in the air as if his feet slipped out from underneath him and he fell backward. Ashley ran to a neighbor's home yelling for help. Two neighbors out walking their dogs saw her running outside with a gun, crying and screaming help. So if she's shooting when he's coming at her, that would not make sense based on um how previously they said he was, you know, standing. I don't know. In the motion for dismissal, Ashley Benefield's attorneys added evidence, documents, and photos supporting their case. These include photos of Doug Benefield that shows his impeccable physique and strength, along with a cut on the side of Ashley's body that she allegedly received from the moving box, and a previous photo of Ashley Benefield with a black eye. So they're saying it's a cut. But previously they said it was like an old scratch, very minor. The defense says the injury photos were taken the day of the shooting. Still don't understand why these photos look like this. Like, you can't tell anything. I mean, you can see in this photo, but when it's black and white like this, and why is it look like it's on like cross stitch paper or something? That's weird. Or cross stitch fabric is what I meant. Why does it look like it's on cross stitch fabric? I don't understand this. Um, the defense team also attached depositions Doug made while detectives were investigating Ashley's domestic violence claims. In the depositions, Doug made several admissions to violent behavior. Okay, so let's get into that. This is where I think we hear about the dog and him punching a hole through the wall, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. In 2018, July of 2018, he allegedly, okay, so this is alleged, admitted to pulling a gun out of its sleeve and shooting at the ceiling, even throwing the gun against the wall in an effort to get Ashley to be quiet during an argument. Doug also admitted to hitting their dog and punching a hole in their wall. My fist went through the sheetrock and sort of hit the outside, he said in the deposition. Ashley was the cause of the argument. So wait a minute. I need to know something. They're saying these are depositions. So why is it saying he allegedly admitted to pulling a gun out of its sleeve and shooting at the ceiling in an effort to get her to be quiet during an argument? I don't understand that. Either he did or he didn't. If it's a deposition, then he would have either said it or he didn't. How is that allegedly? Because here it says he also admitted to hitting their dog and punching a hole in the wall because Ashley was the cause of the argument. I'm confused. They do seem like a bad combo, right, Patricia? But this deposition part has got me stumped. I'm like, why would he allegedly admit to pulling it out and shooting at the ceiling, even throwing the gun against the wall? If this is a deposition, he's not going to say, "Oh, I allegedly did this." You know what I'm saying? That may not be part of the deposition. Hey, Chaloon. We've been on for how long? Let me see. We've been on for 1 hour and 4 minutes. They did get the stand your ground thrown out. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. They did. They did. They did. Jenny says, don't they call a deposition when you do a statement in a police car? Well, the deposition, that's usually like when they go in and there's a court reporter that does all that, you know? That's recording all of, and that becomes, part of the record. Miss King said, I don't know, because he also said it was a stupid thing he did, shooting in the ceiling. Okay. Well, I don't know. Depositions when they meet with the attorneys and they question you under oath, just not in front of the jury, right? I mean, I know that they can give depositions like either in person or via Zoom, but there's always a court reporter there. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, nice. Yay. Thank you, QB. She's got the entire motion. Yay. I want to look at that. I want to look at that. Maybe the police were called and he was telling them what happened. I mean, that's possible, but I mean, it just says, where's it at? It says the defense team also attached depositions Doug made while detectives were investigating her DV claims. In the depositions, Doug made several admissions to violent behavior. And then it says in July, he allegedly admitting blah, blah, blah to pulling out the gun and throwing it against the wall, shooting at the ceiling. But then it says he admitted to hitting the dog and stuff. So, this shows a hole in the Benefield wall documented in the motion for dismissal. So is that the hole that he allegedly punched? A hole in the wall right there. Again, what is up with this cross-stitch fabric photos? I'm not getting that. That's so dumb. Jenny says, in New York, they call statements you make to a cop when you get pulled over the supporting deposition, allegedly. No, it's actually what they call it. I've had several tickets in New York. Oh, wow. This is in Florida. Are they trying this case in Florida, or is it in I can't remember where this happened. I know they lived in Florida, but I don't remember if it happened in Florida. I'm brand new to this case, Jenny. I'm literally okay, yeah, Florida. Okay. So I'm literally learning with you. Oh, you said it in chat 3 times. I'm sorry, QB. I have like I keep going back and forth cuz I'm reading it. You know how that is. I can't see the chat when I'm reading the article. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is where Doug's daughter speaks out on TikTok. This is a picture of him with his daughter with his first wife. Eva is her name. Says Doug Benefield's daughter that he had with his first wife, Eva Benefield. Okay, see that they make that weird too. Law and Crime Network, or who, I don't know who wrote this article, but they need to, because they're making it sound like Eva was his first wife, and it's not. That's his daughter. Anyway, she made headlines after she made a TikTok video talking about the trauma that's built up surrounding the death of her mother and murder of her father. The TikTok reads, my mom dies when I was 15, and my dad assured me he won't be remarrying. 9 months later, he introduces me to a 24-year-old he says he's dating, but 2 days later told me they actually were married. Not too long after I get used to it, they announce that she's pregnant, but soon after that, she leaves my dad, and it's just me and my dad again. My dad moves to Florida to heal their marriage so their kid can have a happy family. But 3 years later, I get a call that the now 27-year-old murdered my dad. Wow. To this date, that video has 3.1 million likes. Because of the massive reach and interest that post received, she went on to explain her side of the story, answering some of the questions people had commented on her video. She was cool at first, but then she wasn't, Eva Benefield explained in one video speaking about Ashley. She would kind of twist my words and make my dad get mad at me. The daughter said this really affected the relationship she had with her father. When Eva found out about Ashley being pregnant, she said she thought, this is freaking bullshit. Eva explained that every morning Doug would text her a Bible verse. That's sweet. He would call her after she responded saying she was awake. When he didn't text her on the morning of the shooting, she knew something was wrong. She ended up getting a call from her uncle who told her that her father was dead. Did she kill him? Eva said she asked her uncle. Yes, Ashley shot and killed him, he allegedly responded. In a later video, Eva tries to break down the legal side of the case. She said Ashley is claiming self-defense, which we know through court documents, but later states Doug's DNA was not found on Ashley Benefield or vice versa, which we cannot confirm. So if there was some sort of a physical altercation, right, there would be probably, be DNA under each of their fingernails from fighting and scratching and pushing and shoving, right? I've also had tickets in Florida, but I don't remember them calling statements depots in Florida. She died of a heart issue. Ashley tried to say he poisoned her. The wife, that he tried to poison the first wife too. She said, I kind of just want the trial to be over. Eva says in a video, I want her to go to jail. It's been a legal SHIT show. Motion hearings. A pretrial immunity hearing on the motion for dismissal has been scheduled for Thursday, July 6th and Friday, July 7th at the Manatee County Judicial Center in Bradenton. Circuit Court Judge Matt White will be proceeding over the case. All right. So that is that. Now I have this video. Which one and where is it? Southern Florida. Okay. All right, let me go back over here. We have this video here. And I'm going to share this one. Let me share this tab. All right. This is let me close that. This says that this video is from Long Crime Network, right? And I think it was about a year. When was this? They posted this 1 year ago. And it says it's crime scene photos show ballerina Ashley Benefield after shooting her husband. So I saw that there were some crime. They showed the description says crime scene photos were presented in court Thursday during former ballerina Ashley Benefield's pre-evidentiary hearing. The photos show a bloody bedroom and multiple shell casings marked with evidence markers. The defense also presented photos showing Ashley with a swollen eye and cheek. Ashley has been charged with second-degree murder in her husband's death. She claims she shot Doug in self-defense. So I wanted to see what kind of evidence they have. And I think I kind of like skipped through this video earlier today, and they showed different parts of the house. So I thought it might be kind of cool to watch this and get a little bit of a feel for some of this evidence, right? Let me hit the play button. We'll watch this real quick.
Good morning.
Morning.
Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
It's Amanda Conlon, Conlon,
And how are you employed?
Sheriff's Office crime scene.
And how long have you been so employed?
16 years.
And can you explain generally your duties as a crime scene technician?
To document the crime scene through photos, video, sketches, collect evidence, process evidence.
And did you obtain any education that helped you with that position?
Yes.
And what was that?
I went to St. Petersburg College for crime scene.
And do you did you get training once you began working with the sheriff's office?
Yes, we're sent to training all the time.
And so that has continued.
Yes.
Thank you. I want to draw your attention to September 27th, 2020. Were you working that evening?
Yes.
And were you asked to respond to a scene at 11331 White Rock Terrace?
Yes.
And is that here in Manatee County?
Yes.
And do you know approximately what time you arrived there?
About 8:28 that evening.
And pardon me, were law enforcement officers on scene prior to your arrival?
Yes.
And without telling me what you said, did you speak to them to kind of find out what was going on?
Yes.
After speaking to them, what, if anything, did you do first?
I went next door to the neighbor to collect a gun.
And are these single family homes?
Yes.
And where was the neighbor's home in comparison to the home at 11331?
Right next door.
And did you in fact go over there?
Yes,
Okay. And did you retrieve a firearm?
I did.
Who did you retrieve it from?
From the homeowner.
Was that a Mr. Saint or Sant?
Yes.
And did a law enforcement officer accompany you to secure the firearm or make it safe?
Yes.
Okay. And who was that?
Ackerman.
And did he in fact secure it?
He did.
Okay. And did you observe it to be loaded?
Yes.
And did you observe what type of what caliber it was, and or what type of ammunition was contained in the firearm?
It was a .45, and Hornady was the brand of the bullets.
Hornady?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Did you at some point enter the home at 11331?
Yes.
And was that as a part of the execution of a search warrant?
Yes.
And what's the first thing you do when you enter a crime scene?
Start taking photographs.
And do you document the entire scene first with the photographs?
Yes.
And then after you have documented the scene as it lays, what's the next thing that you do?
Then I would place down evidence markers of evidence throughout the house.
And those are the yellow tents that we often see in these photos?
Yes.
And is that the process in which you followed in this case?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been pre-marked as states
Made me giggle.
2 through 19. Will you review these and tell me if you recognize those?
What is anything? I put it on 1.5 just to kind of get through this. You're scarred for life, right?
Yes, I recognize them.
And how do you recognize them?
They're photos that I've taken.
And with the exception of number 3, I believe that's a floor plan.
Yes.
And as far as 2 and 4 through 19, they appear to accurately depict the scene as you saw it the night you were there, September 27th, 2020.
Yes.
And then as to number 3, does it appear to accurately depict a portion of the home as you recall it from when you were there in September?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the state would ask to enter states 2 through 19.
No objection. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So let's first look at states 2, and I'm going to display them digitally before you. And can you tell me what we see here in states 2?
Let me just ask, instead of turning down the lights, Ms. Conlon, are you able to see these sufficiently?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank-
It's a little difficult with the lights on for us to see it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. I didn't want anybody nodding off.
Thank you. Ms. Conlon, I'm going to give you a pointer.
And again, sir, if you need to reposition anywhere around the courtroom, wherever you need to go to see, please feel free.
Ms. Conlon, what is it that we see here in states 2?
It's a firearm.
And what firearm is that?
I believe it is the 45.
And is that it's back in your lab as opposed to when you collected it at home? Is that correct?
Correct.
And we see a magazine. It appears to have ammunition in it.
Yes.
And then the firearm, which has been locked back, and a holster. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then there's one round laying in this picture. Would that be if it had been in the chamber?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to show you states 3. This is the floor plan we talked about a moment ago. it's not the complete home, is that correct?
Correct.
When you entered the home, how did you enter?
I entered through the garage, which would be right in this area.
So that the laundry room has what appears to be two doorways. The bottom one would be an exit to the garage?
Yeah.
So when you approached the home, you walked through the garage?
Yes.
And what observations did you make, if anything, of the driveway or the garage as you entered?
There was a U-Haul truck. There was a pod there. There was boxes. You could tell they were moving.
And when you entered the home, did the home appear to be furnished, or did it appear as somebody had already completed much of a move out?
There was still a couch in there. There was still some furniture, but the majority was being boxed up and everything.
And we see 2 bedrooms here. Were there only 2 bedrooms in this home?
No, there's a third one, and it's past the living room and kitchen.
So it would be the top of this picture.
Yeah,
correct?
it would be up there.
And how would you categorize that bedroom?
The master bedroom.
And then we have 2 bedrooms here on the left, one being a child's bedroom and then one being Miss Benefield's bedroom. As far as you know, is that accurate?
Correct.
What did you enter the room called the child's bedroom?
Yes,
And what about it made you believe it was a child's bedroom?
because it had kids' stuff in it, kids' clothing.
Did you find anything of evidentiary value in that child's bedroom?
No.
Did you enter the bedroom that we have on this floor plan marked as Miss Benefield's bedroom?
Yes.
And did you find things of evidentiary value in that bedroom?
Yes.
And did you document that bedroom in the remainder of these states' evidence?
Yes.
Thank you. What I'm going to show you first is states 4. Oh, sorry. Can you describe what we see here in states 4?
I'm in the corner in the back, just taking overalls. There's blood on the floor, and there's a bullet hole right here.
And I think we have a close-up of that bullet hole once you marked it.
Yes.
That hallway there, is that the hallway we saw on the floor plan that adjoined that child's bedroom?
Yes.
Thank you. And what is on the other side of this wall where you said I think you can actually see the bullet hole there. And then there's a socket on the wall. What's on the other side of that wall?
The bathroom.
This is states 5. Is this the same area in the bedroom?
Yes.
And the item or the area there, that's a closet with the bifold doors?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And when you entered the room, was the mattress up against the wall like that?
Yes.
Had anything been moved or touched to your knowledge prior to you taking the pictures?
No.
Where are you standing in this is state 6. Pardon me. Where are you standing when you take this photo?
I'm in the doorway.
Where the one we saw, the bathroom would have been on your right?
Correct.
And we see tent markers here, 1 through 6. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me what was at tent markers 1 through 4?
1 through 4 are casings.
And did you collect those items?
Yes.
And do you remember the caliber of those casings?
The 45.
And were they also the Hornady?
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm saying it wrong, but.
I might be saying it wrong too.
And then I see here, there's a black tripod thing there in this top picture. What is that?
It's a light.
Okay. And that's something you placed or another crime scene tech placed there?
Yes.
And how about number 5? What is that tent marker number 5, which is near that tripod?
A projectile.
And then number 6, what is number 6 marking?
Blood.
I'm going to show you states number 7. Is this the projectile you said was at state or at number 5?
Yes.
Okay. And did you collect that item?
Yes.
Now states 8, I think you're looking back towards that wall in the hallway. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you tell me what it is at state 7?
The hole right there.
And I'm just going to zoom in so you can. And there appears to be something below it other than your sticky number 7.
Yes,
And what is that?
it's a ruler.
Is that just for scaling?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Did you find any other holes other than state 7? There was a, what did you call it, bullet hole?
Yes.
Yes. Did you find any other holes that corresponded with state 7?
Yes.
Okay, and so can you tell me about those?
So they would be in the bathroom, in the cabinet. So I marked the one after that 8, then 9 was the exit, hitting the cabinet door, and then 10 is the actual on the other side of that cabinet.
So 8 would have been the back of the cabinet?
Correct.
The
Yes.
opposite side of 7?
Yes.
And then it traveled through the cabinet door, which you did as 9 and 10?
Correct.
And then did it ultimately land or strike somewhere and come to a stop?
Yes.
And where was that?
It's right outside the bathroom door.
So I'll show you states 9. Is this the frame of the bathroom door?
Yes.
And if you could just tell us what we see here.
It's going to be the projectile inside that hole.
And you marked that 11.
Correct.
This is states 10. What do we see here in states 10?
The trajectory rods, just to show the path of the bullet.
So those are something you placed there to make sure that was the same bullet that went through those holes at number 7 and 8, 9, and 10?
Correct.
And did you ultimately dig the projectile out of tent marker 11?
Yes.
And I believe states 11 is a close-up of that hole prior to your digging it up. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then what do we see here in states 12?
That's the bullet that I dug out at 11.
Thank you. Did you find any other holes anywhere else in the home?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that?
The living room.
And did you document that?
Yes.
I'm going to show you states 13. Can you kind of orient us in the home? Or if I can switch back to the floor plan if it would help. But.
No, that's the front door by 16. So it's like right in the living room area.
And now that wall that we're looking at, is that, I see a window, so that's an exterior wall of the home?
Yes.
Where would the bedroom be in this photo? Or not in this photo, but where would the bedroom be in comparison to where this photo is taken?
Behind me.
And what is this small brown item? I believe we see it in states 14.
It was struck by the bullet.
And it's some kind of canvas thing.
Yes.
So this is states 14. And then states 15, is that the bullet that traveled into the living room wall?
Yes.
And you collected it?
Yes.
I'm going to just go back to states 3. If you could kind of show us on this diagram where that bullet strike was.
It would have been right here.
So that's the door we saw and the window we saw in the
Right.
corner of.
Yes.
Thank you. Did you find and collect any other firearms in this home?
Yes.
And how many?
2 others.
And where were they located?
One was in the bedroom with the blood, in the closet, in a backpack.
And so I'm showing you state 16. Is this the closet you're talking about?
Yes.
And where's the backpack?
Right there.
And then I believe state 17, is that the firearm in the backpack?
Yes.
Thank you. You said you found 2?
And then one was in the kitchen pantry.
And I'm showing you states 18. Is this a portion of that kitchen pantry?
Yes.
And where was the firearm?
It was below that picture. Yes.
And so we see a basket here, and then this is another
That's
basket.
when, yeah, that's when, yeah.
And so states 19, that's a firearm.
Correct.
Okay, and you collected both of them.
Yes.
Were they both loaded?
Yes.
Did you locate any cell phones in this home?
Yes.
And did you collect them?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as states 20 and through 22. Judge, these are entered by stipulation number 2. But are these photos you've seen before?
Yes.
And is it your understanding that they were taken by first responders when the victim was still on scene?
Yes.
And I didn't ask you, but when you arrived, had the victim already been taken away by EMS, to your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Were you ever given any information by law enforcement to help you in your investigation about why there was a drag mark?
Yes.
And what was the information that you were given?
That's they had pulled him out to start working on him.
And is it your understanding these pictures were taken in the bedroom prior to that?
Correct.
Your Honor, the state, they were entered by stipulation where the state would ask to publish
All right,
20 through 22.
ma'am, can I please have
Oh,
20 to
I'm
22?
sorry.
I have them here if you want on the screen or not, either which way.
I can look at them here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
On the night of the incident, did you have any involvement with the defendant, Ms. Benefield?
Not that night, no.
And was it your understanding that another crime scene tech took photos to document her appearance on that night?
Yes.
And who was that?
It was Megan.
And Your Honor, I believe these are entered by stipulation number 4, but Ms. Conlon, would you take a look at states 23 through 26 and tell me if those are the photos you understand? It's Megan Dvorak, is that
Correct. Yes.
she took those?
Yes, these are Megan's pictures.
And Your Honor, the state would ask to publish them. Would you like me to do it on the screen or would you like to just look at them?
You can just reach into them. Oh, gosh. Just to confirm, there you are. 20 to 22 and 23 to 26 are stepped in.
Yes.
All right, they'll be received.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Conlon, later, were you asked to document Ms. Benefield's appearance again?
Yes.
And do you recall what date that was?
It was the 1st.
Of October?
Yes.
And where did you go to do that?
At the sheriff's office.
And did you in fact take photos of her?
I did.
I'm going to show you states 27, 28, and 29.
Yes.
And are those the photos you took of her on October 1st, 2020?
Yes.
And do they appear to fairly and accurately depict her appearance that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would ask to enter 27 through 29.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Received?
And while you were there, did you observe any injuries to her body?
Some scratches, light bruising.
And this is 27, is that taken October 1st?
Yes.
And then this is 28, are those the scratches you were talking about?
Yes.
And 29?
Yes.
Did Ms. Benefield complain of any injuries to you that night?
She never spoke.
Thank you. I don't have anything further, Judge. The defense may.
And Judge, I just want to correct something before the defense does cross. The picture that came in as State's Exhibit number 2, it was my fault. I switched the pictures on accident. That firearm is the one that was found in the backpack in the closet, not the one that was found in the neighbor's house. But all the testimony about the neighbor's house and the gun being at the neighbor's house is accurate. It's just the picture is a different one.
Okay. And are you gonna need the pictures? Or do you want lights up?
I think for right now, we could have the lights back up, Your Honor.
Absolutely.
I may request that they go down.
Just let us know.
Do you want the hard copies?
No, Jack. Deputy Condon,
I'm not a deputy, just as a crime scene tech.
crime scene tech. How shall I address you, Miss Colon?
Yeah, that's fine.
I have a few questions for you. No heavy lifting. I first want to ask you about crime scene.
Mhm.
Your purpose as a crime scene technician is to arrive and document as accurately as possible the circumstances that you find.
Yes,
And traditionally, ideally at least, you should be the first one that enters the crime scene, if you will, so that what you document is an accurate depiction of how it existed at the moment.
correct.
All right. In this instance,
Okay, so we saw some evidence. Let me scroll through, see if there's any other. I wanted to see the
ask you a few questions with the help of my very able-bodied assistant, Mr. O'Keefe. And we're going to put a few of those photographs up. I want to ask you some questions about them.
wow, O'Keefe.
If you're going to refer to any that are already in evidence, I'd prefer we use the ones that are already marked. If there's a,
I want to see if this is the evidence that he's going to show the photos that were taken of her that night. That must be her.
I'm sorry, is that?
from the night of the incident.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, these are photos of her.
Good. All right, Ms. Condon, let me direct your attention to the exhibit that is now up on the Elmo. I want to ask you, with respect to Ms. Benefield's left side of the face, specifically the left eyelid, does that appear to be the same size as the eyelid on the right, or does it appear to be swollen?
Objection.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain. I mean, I can see that for myself. I don't need the witness to narrate what the evidence is. Unless there's something specific that you want to draw out about it, but
No, that's fine. The only other question I was going to ask was about the left cheek, Your Honor.
okay. But I also think that she didn't take these.
I understand.
Okay, go ahead. So I'm going to sustain.
Okay. With respect Ms. Cologne to Ms. Benefield's left cheek. Do you see that as swollen as compared to the right cheek?
Did you just?
Sustained.
All right. Next. This was a photograph that was taken when?
That was the night, the first night.
Okay. And this was taken by you?
No, that was taken by Megan.
By Megan. Are you familiar with this photograph?
I am.
All right. Does this photograph, it's hard to depict in this exhibit under the Elmo. Does it show whether or not the scratch?
Objection, Judge.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, but let him finish the question. I don't know where he's going. It's not uncommon for lawyers to start this way and make a, not wrong turn, but left turn. So
I'll
go ahead.
withdraw the question.
Oh, no, ask your question, please, but I don't know where it was going.
I understand, but I also know what the ruling is, so.
If it's
yeah.
just to narrate
Out of
what's,
concern for the court's time.
yeah, I
understand.
mean, and then you can argue that certainly,
I'll be able to argue it too.
absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, thank you.
Redirect?
Yes, briefly. Ms. Conlon, in your many years at the sheriff's office, you've responded to homicide scenes regularly.
Yes.
And
Well, that was weird. That was weird, right? Was that weird? I think it was weird. Yeah. So we did see some of the evidence. We saw crime scene stuff. Let me see. There was one other. Where did I find it? Let me go grab it. It was on here. Let me. Um, hmm. Sorry, something popped up. Okay. Where did the Ooh, what do we have cookies for, Margaret? I want cookies. Can I have a cookie? I want a cookie. Did you make cookies? What? Okay. Bum, 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 bum. I want to find the one that I was watching with the interview. Is that one it? Yeah, this one's it. I found it. All right, let me share this tab. You made cookies from scratch, really? Chocolate chip ones? Oh, yum. That's a beautiful photo of her. She's gorgeous there. I mean, yikes. Gorgeous. Wow. All right, so this video here is from Vinnie Politan on Court TV. This one was from what, last year too? A year ago? Yeah. 1 year ago. And we won't play all of it, but I did want to get to
you. Thank you so much for joining us.
This part here. Put my fair use disclaimer back up here. Right. Let me put my fair use disclaimer up here. I don't normally worry about it with like court TV and law and crime. But just in case, right? All right.
And we're going to talk about it tonight.
All right. So right here, so they're showing this girl here is this. Okay, this is Doug. Okay. I'm learning with you guys, but I know that this is Doug. And then here on the bottom left corner under that is his daughter with his first wife. So the gal here on the right with the short blonde hair was his first wife, Renee. She's lost both of her parents, right? And she's a young woman. But we get to hear from her, the daughter.
Unreal circumstance. And we're going to talk about it tonight. And we have some guests with firsthand knowledge who've lived through this. Let me bring in our guest joining us tonight in Charleston, South Carolina. Doug's daughter, Eva, is with us. Eva, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. In Atlanta, Georgia, Doug's cousin and the Benefield family spokesperson, Tommy Benefield, is with us. And in Sarasota, Florida, the attorney who has represented Doug Benefield, Stephanie Murphy, also with us. Thank you all. And Tommy and Stephanie, if you don't mind, it's going to take a moment to get to you because I want to speak with Eva first. Eva, first of all, on behalf of everyone at Court TV, we came across your story, we read your story, and our thoughts are with you, and our deepest condolences on all the tragedy that you've dealt with in your life. But what also struck us is it seems like, well, why don't you explain to us how you are handling being this young, dealing with everything you're dealing with. And I've seen that you post a lot on social media, on TikTok, other places. So give us an idea of how you are able to crack a little smile tonight, I saw, and handle unspeakable things that have happened.
I handle it with humor. I mean, at first, it was really devastating, but I have a great support system. I have a lot of good friends and family. And then I ended up posting a TikTok that went viral almost 2 years ago. And since then, I've gained a following of, I think, 300,000 followers, and they're all very supportive. And yeah, I've gotten to help a lot of people, and I started a podcast also giving people advice. And it helps me to know that I'm helping other people.
That's fantastic. It's amazing. It's admirable. And just so folks who haven't seen your TikToks or listened to your, you speak openly about what you've gone through. If I can, I want to start in the beginning here and tell me a little bit about what your life was like before your mom died? When it's you, mom and dad, where were you living? What was your life like?
We were here in Charleston, South Carolina, and everything was very normal. I had two loving parents. We did all of the normal family things, and I don't know, that it was just very normal, you know, textbook loving family.
So now I want to ask you to talk about something that was really difficult. Tell us about the day that your mom passed away.
The day that my mom passed away, I was leaving school, and my mom was supposed to be picking me up because my dad was out of town. And she didn't answer her phone, but she had been up late the night before, so I assumed she was probably sleeping. And luckily, in the car pickup area was a friend of mine from elementary school, and so her mom gave me a ride home, and we went home. All the lights were off, and I walked up to the door, rang the doorbell because I didn't have my key, and my mom didn't answer, and so we left and we went and got dinner, and then we came back, and my mom still was not answering the door. So then I went to the window it's at the front of the house where my parents' bedroom was, and I saw her silhouette. So we went over across the street to the neighbor, and he knocked the door down. I went inside and I found my mom.
So, as you said, loving family, loving parents. So how did you and your dad deal with that? How did that impact, your relationship with your dad?
Me and my dad got to be super close after that. He did the best job that he could to fill in as not only a father, but a mother, just because he would say, okay, tell me all your friends' drama, tell me your boy drama. And so I would tell him every single thing in my life. And we were very close. I felt like I could tell him anything, and he listened. And so we mourned my mom a lot. And the first and only time I ever saw him cry was at my mom's funeral. But I think it really just made me and my dad's relationship a lot stronger.
So from that point, when does your dad meet Ashley, and under what circumstances did you get?
So, okay, this is where, we start hearing about Ashley. Okay. One thing that blows my mind is because we talked about it on the when we were looking at the article a while ago. And so when we read the part about how he had told her, his daughter Eva, that how did she say it? That he was dating someone. She finds out that he was actually married to her instead. She talks about that here in a minute, and she actually talks about how she overheard and accidentally heard him talking to a friend on a phone, on a Zoom call or something, and overhears them say something about Doug's new girlfriend or something.
To meet Ashley?
My dad met Ashley 9 months after my mom passed, so I believe it was in August of 2016. And I got to meet Ashley when I first heard about Ashley. It was a Friday after school. My dad was on a conference call, and they mentioned Doug having a girlfriend and if she was going to be at the next event that they were supposed to go to. And I asked him what girlfriend, and he kind of denied it at first. And then he eventually fessed up and he said, yeah, so we're dating. The next day I met her, and we picked her up from the hotel that she was staying at here in Charleston. And then the following day, it was a Sunday, he told me that they were actually married, not just dating.
Wow.
That had to be a bit of a bombshell, not having met her and
Just
now.
a little bit.
Yeah. So how did
A lot
explain
of
to us
it.
like what that did to you and how sort of the relationship was between you, your
A lot of it, right? I mean, I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know how I would feel if he was like, oh, we're dating, and then coming to find out, oh no, I lied. We're actually married.
dad and now your dad's new wife. And what did you think of her?
At first I thought, she seemed pretty normal other than the very small age gap between me and her. She seemed like very nice. And I thought we were going to be friends. I supported my dad. I trusted my dad with every decision he made. So I thought that if he saw it as a good decision, then I should too. Yeah, she moved in pretty quickly and things were not necessarily normal because it was very new and fresh to me, but it wasn't bad.
Tommy, let me bring you in here. Tommy, when did you learn about Ashley and did you have any conversations with Doug about her, or was it a surprise to you as well?
It was also a surprise to me personally and our family. I was flying for Southwest Airlines, happened to have a Charleston overnight just a few months after they were married. Got a hold of Doug and gonna try to have dinner since it was a surprise overnight for me. And he surprised me by saying, Ashley doesn't feel well, and why don't you come up to the house? I didn't know who Ashley was, so I made a trip up to the house, met her, found out they were married, and we ended up having dinner together that night. So it was a surprise to us and to our family, in addition to, the really big surprise to Eva. But his close friends knew and were a part of it, but not us.
Wow.
So Eva, the three of you are living together. When do things change?
I would say things changed when the tension in the house got a little bit higher after they announced the ballet company.
The tension that after they announced the ballet company. So those kind of statements like that kind of makes you wish that you were like a fly on the wall so you could hear those arguments or discussions that caused the tension. You know what I mean?
And the tension between me and my dad got higher when Ashley started to step in to try and act like my mom. So I wasn't very happy with that. And I was a teenager trying to still warn my mom.
Right.
And my dad and I got into arguments just because Ashley was not happy with the way I wasn't reacting to her parenting style.
And the ballet company, for folks at home who aren't familiar, your father started a ballet company with Ashley. And
I'm sorry, but I can't really blame her for not wanting to, because they're not very far apart in age. She would be more like a big sister than a mom as far as age goes between them, because she was a teenager. And then you have Ashley, who at the time would have been like 24 or 25 years old. So that's a little strange.
we're going to talk about that maybe on a future segment. I don't know how much time we have to get into that tonight. I want to get the relationship story tonight. Ashley ends up getting pregnant at some point, Eva.
Yes.
And how did that announcement go over? And was it planned? What was your perception of how that all took place?
I don't believe it was planned. I didn't really ask, but I was pretty upset. I tried to accept the fact that it happened, and that I was going to have a little half sister, but I wasn't thrilled. And the only thing that really hurt the most was my dad. The night that my mom passed away, he told me that he had no foreseeable he had no plans in the foreseeable future of even getting married and having another kid. So from him to say that and then 9 months later get married and have a child was pretty upsetting.
And how quickly after the marriage was the pregnancy? Was it relatively quick?
I want to say it was 6 months after they got married.
That's quick. That's quick. That's absolutely quick. Stephanie Murphy, I want to bring
That
you
is
in here because I'm
quick.
sure you have learned a lot of the backstory of this relationship. From your perspective, what you've learned representing Doug through the years, when did the trouble start?
Okay, so he asks her this question, but her audio cuts in and out really bad, and he ends up having to tell her, we'll get back to you when your audio's fixed. So then he starts speaking to Tommy, the cousin, who is on the bottom left.
In Charleston, is there a point where those living circumstances change?
Yes, it was after Ashley left my dad, right around when she disavowed herself from the ballet company. She called CPS on my dad from Florida, and they got involved. And so I moved out for about 6 months after she had called the police and CPS on my dad.
Okay. So something happens between Ashley and your dad. So there's some sort of split. At that point, Ashley, you said moves out. So are you still in Charleston with your dad?
Yes.
And has the baby been born
Yes.
yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so
She had moved to Florida. My Ashley had moved to Florida during it was the end.
They get to, I think it's when the cousin starts talking about the vasectomy.
she's now carrying the child, and all of a sudden they're split up.
So with the sound that we lost from Stephanie, I was involved in the vasectomy reversal. We talked about it.
Wait a minute. Wait.
He's
Slow
like,
down.
what? Wait,
Okay.
what?
Explain that to me, please, Tommy.
Yes, sir. So Ashley desperately wanted a child. She was young. And Ashley actually paid for Doug's vasectomy reversal to get it started. And then I am a health coach, and I do a lot of health coaching with folks. And we were able to get, fortunate or unfortunate, his system working very quickly. So just a few weeks after the vasectomy reversal is when Ashley became pregnant. Ashley ends up
That was quick.
claiming that her morning sickness and how she felt was the reason that she was going to move to Florida. And
I have a question though. Does anybody know? Because he said that Ashley paid for his reversal. So if he's the one with the money, but she's the one paying for it, like how much does that cost? How much does that procedure cost? Anybody have any idea how much that procedure would cost? I'm assuming it's not anything health insurance would cover, right? I mean, I don't know. And then the cousin here, Tommy, is apparently a health coach and he helps him kickstart his system. Oof. I don't want to know those details.
Doug was supportive of that because that's the kind of person he was, that he would care more about taking care of her and anyone else than he would taking care of himself. So he moves her to Florida to her mother's home in Bradenton. And shortly after that is when she starts all the drama of accusation.
Margaret said, well, the non-reversal type, that is. What do you mean? Did you type another comment and it didn't show it? Because I don't see another comment. What do you mean the non-reversal type? That is. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi. I just tuned in. What procedure? So if you follow this case, Doug, he had the what do you call it? Vasectomy reversal, because his young hot wife wanted a baby. So she paid for him to have a reversal of vasectomy reversal. Margaret says, yeah, I meant to say vasectomy after insurance costs $50. The reversal is not covered and can be upwards of $5,000. Okay, so I was going to say a reversal. I would not think would be covered by insurance, because that would just wouldn't make sense. Because it wouldn't be like medically necessary, you know? It's kind of a, oof, I found a hot young wife and I want to give her a baby. So I don't know. But $5,000, okay. Okay. Ooh, you got cookie dough all over your keyboard. You never did say, is it chocolate chip? You never did say what kind of cookies you are making. But hi and welcome, Jacqueline. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you join us. If you know about this story, about this case, the trial will be starting soon. And we are diving into it because I don't know much about it. So I was like, let's get to know what's going on, I guess, before yeah. I had no idea about all this other detail, right? Had no idea. Hey Lee, I am on. Yeah, I've been doing late streams this week cuz Dale is on vacation. So, I've been going on later in the evening, like 6:30, 5:30, 6:30. Yeah. So that's but it's because he's on vacation this week, and yeah. So all right, let's get back to this. There's not much left of this, and once we're done, then I'll pretty much be done for the night. It's already 9:00. Sheesh.
When Eva was talking about CPS, Child Protective Services, Eve actually called the Charleston or Mount Pleasant, South Carolina Child Protective Services. They built a case that had no proof whatsoever. They've disproved all of the allegations like every other time. But that started the real problems between Ashley and Doug. I was involved with Doug all the way through the process, including when Stephanie came in as Doug took Ashley to court. Ashley chose to have the child 3 weeks early on the allegations of poisoning. And by that time, we couldn't get Doug access. That's when Stephanie stepped in, brought the case. We won a very easy victory in court for Doug to get access to his child, the young child with Ashley.
So, okay, that just goes, towards what we've already heard or read earlier tonight in the article that we were looking at, where they talked about all these different accusations and things that she was saying and trying to keep him away and all these legal things, and none of it worked. Like I think the article said she exhausted all of her, efforts. So,
And I was involved through that entire process, including testifying in court and in depositions for the case.
Wow. All right. Eva, Tommy, you're going to stay with us. And I think we're going to get reconnected with Stephanie. We're going to take a short break. We're going to talk more about what happened and ultimately get to the night that Doug was shot by Ashley, plus coming up in the next hour.
all right, let me.
And I kept Doug not in the knowledge that I was speaking to Ashley directly until the court case came up. And I allowed Ashley to make all of her accusations directly to me, both about Doug's military service, which she said was a lie. But I helped Doug get in the Navy. I knew what his military service was. We had proof of that. We gave it to her. I got the accusations about the poisoning from her. And I taught her quickly how to find out if she'd been poisoned or not, but she would never do that legal, credible.
So I did see too, there was a video that I saw scrolling, and I can't remember, it was on YouTube somewhere, and it said that the victim's cousin testifies, and it shows him. So it must have been, I'll have to look and see if I can find it. Because he's probably testifying about the stuff he's talking about right now with, talking to her about these different accusations and stuff.
Testing, so I knew it was false. We went through the trial. I helped Doug through the trial part, helping Stephanie with Doug being, having all the documents he needed. And we won that going away. And then what happened was she would present one picture to Doug. Oh, we can get back together someday. Let's raise our daughter together. But the other side, she's telling everyone, including psychologists, that she was forced to go to. She was never going to get back with Doug. So she was showing two complete different things, to Doug one way, and then to the other people where she's trying to, convince people of the problem. She's convincing them by saying she was never going back.
Let me ask you, Stephanie, was there ever any talk or by the court of intervening and having her psychologically evaluated?
Absolutely. It actually wasn't done initially by the court. It was done by the sheriff's department because of all the false allegations that she was raising regarding their child. And so eventually, Doug and I were able to talk to the sheriff's department so that they got psychological evaluations done of both Ashley and Doug. And we believe that it is, in fact, those evaluations that actually led Ashley to make the decision to murder Doug. We were scheduled to have a hearing on Wednesday to release these psychological evaluations. We went to mediation in the family law case on Thursday, and both Ashley and Doug, as well as both of the attorneys, advised the mediator that the parties were reconciling, that they were moving to Maryland together, and that we had a hearing coming up in a few days to release a psychological evaluation. And Sunday night, before she had a chance to ever see a judge, or the same judge, I should say, which is another part of the story, Ashley shot and killed him so that he would not get his hands on those evaluations.
Oh my
All
God.
right, we're going to talk more about that day. All our guests are staying with us.
What? That was a heavy statement right there, right? She shot and killed him to keep him from getting his hands on her evaluations. Really? Is that what she's saying? What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? Does that? Wow. Now I'm interested to hear more about these evaluations. Do we get any? Have we ever been told anything about these evaluations? Did they ever come to light? Did they ever come to light?
Eva Benefield, Tommy Benefield, and Stephanie Murphy. Appreciate your time tonight. Yeah, when we come back, let's find out a little bit more about the day Ashley shot Doug.
Wow. That's a great picture of him, isn't it? Is that a great picture of him? Yes, she did want him to know how crazy she is. She did or did not, Nicole?
Prices ever.
Stephanie Murphy, Doug's attorney, who was involved in all of this. So, Tommy, let me ask you, September 27th, 2020, the day that your cousin Doug was shot and killed, Eva's dad, who was living where, and what were the circumstances leading up to the event, and what do we know about that night?
Margaret and other people in the chat who I don't know how old everybody in the chat is, I don't want to but is it just me, or does the gal, the Stephanie chick on the bottom right-hand corner, the attorney or whatever, does she look like Mary Lou Henner? She looks like Mary Lou Henner. I kept thinking she looks like somebody I know, and then it just hit me. She looks like Mary Lou Henner. She does. To me, anyway. She does to me.
So what we know is that Doug and Ashley had rented an apartment in Bradenton together. And although Ashley always said she was going to move in with Doug and they would raise their child together, she never moved into that apartment.
She does, right?
Ashley continued to live with her mother in a home not far from the apartment in Lakeside Ranch. The weekend of the killing, Doug had rented a U-Haul trailer on Saturday. Both Ashley and Doug were there when the rental occurred, when he rented it. And he was packing up all of Ashley and their daughter and Ashley's mother's things, all of his things, to move to a brand new job, a full-time job, up in the same area where Ashley and her mother were from, between Baltimore and Washington. The day of the killing, Doug had taken the U-Haul trailer, filled most of it, went over to Ashley and her mother's house and was literally putting in the last boxes from Ashley's bedroom into the U-Haul. Just prior to that, when he got there, Ashley's mother, Alicia, took their daughter and took her out to a park late in the evening, almost dusk, left Doug and Ashley at the home, and Doug is literally bent over picking up the last box when Ashley opens fire on him with a handgun. 4 shots were fired.
Okay, I need to know how soon before the shooting happened did Grandma take the little girl to wherever they went? Does anybody know? Does anybody know that? Also, no, this is just completely speculation and a question. It's not even a statement. It's more of a question of, is it possible that Grandma knew that Ashley was going to do this and that's why she left with the daughter or the granddaughter? Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two of them struck him. Both would have killed normal people, but Doug, being a former triathlete, in great physical shape, survives longer than anyone thought, especially Ashley. When the shots are fired, the next door neighbor calls 911. Ashley goes next door to the other neighbor, and that neighbor calls 911. The police arrive and the EMTs arrive before Ashley knows it and start trying to revive Doug and keep him alive.
Wow.
He lives an hour and 20 minutes from the shooting, both at the home where he was loading the last box to put in the U-Haul.
I didn't know that.
And en route and at the hospital, but passes away due to the gunshot wounds an hour and 20 minutes after she shot him.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Do we know if he was able to make any statements about what
Right.
happened?
He couldn't speak. One of the bullets went through his arm into his chest, and his lungs were filling with blood at that time, and he wasn't able to speak. And we have that from the testimonies of the police, the EMTs, and the doctors.
Oh my God. But they could have asked like yes or no questions. I'm sure they did. But oh my God, I didn't know that. I didn't did you guys know that? The ones in the chat that know about this story already. Did you know that about the hour and 20 minutes? I mean, I'm sure you did. This interview was from a year ago. So those of you that follow the story already know that. But Nicole says I think her mom could end up being charged too. Oh. There are a lot of things connected to this than I anticipated.
Eva, let me ask you about a gun. When all three of you were living together, did Ashley have a gun then? Did your dad have guns? What?
Yeah, my dad did keep firearms in the house, and so did Ashley. She typically would conceal carry to normal places like the grocery store, and anywhere she went, she would always have a gun on her.
Stephanie, is is Ashley locked up now? Is she out on bond? What is the status of her, and what is the status of the daughter?
Ashley is out on bond, and she has an ankle monitoring device. So she's in the community. She is living with her daughter as well as her mother. She is enjoying a lot of the freedoms that each and every one of us enjoys, the very freedom that Doug was denied.
Eva, I'm wondering if you've had any contact or communication with Ashley after that night.
No, I'm currently not allowed to be speaking to her, but I have a feeling she watches my TikToks.
You
Have you
think?
sent any messages to her via TikTok, or you're not permitted to do that either?
I'm not permitted to do that either.
Yeah. So, Tommy, as you look back at everything that happened here, and it seemed like everything happened so quickly, from meeting her to the marriage, has anything come up about her past? Have you learned like what her life was before she met Doug, and anything to indicate that he may have walked into some sort of a trap here?
What we know about her is her first marriage didn't go well. It was to a Marine officer who wanted to be a pilot in the Marines.
Okay, and I don't know that I knew that she was previously married. I don't think I knew that part either, so that's interesting.
Doug and I were pilots in the Navy, so similar careers. That marriage did not go well. There were a lot of accusations of abuse by her about her first husband. We know that her father, her biological father, left her mother and her when she was 15 years old. So that, I'm sure, was traumatic. And that separation, I'm sure, didn't help, how she handled life. What we do know is that when Doug tried to make her dream come true and create this ballet in Charleston, all backed very strongly by the community, by the dance community, that all went well until she was exposed for having no real ability to manage or lead. That's part of why we know that she went to Florida, based on the testimony of other people involved with the ballet at the time. So Doug was getting a presentation.
Did he say that she had no ability to manage or lead? Like a business? Is that what he means?
She went to real community. That all went well until she was exposed for having no real ability to manage or lead. That's part of why we know that she went to Florida, based on the testimony of other people involved with the ballet at the time. So Doug was getting a presentation from the first night they met. She had prepared days in advance to present herself and present what she believed Doug wanted. And then she used his trauma over Renee's death and that grief to then present him with a great solution. Marry this young, beautiful woman, and she can present herself as beautiful, but she also, we've seen from the mugshot, isn't nearly as beautiful when she's not made up. So she, once again, always presented one thing to Doug. Reality was different all the way through the relationship.
All right, Eva, before we go, I want you to tell us about your shirt business and how people can help support you. I mean, you've been through a lot.
Ooh, daughter has a shirt business. Cute. Wonder if she still does. I don't know.
Tell us about the shirt business, where people can go to find it, and what sort of things you do. And I know we spent a lot of time covering a trial in Virginia involving a guy named Johnny Depp. And I know you made some shirts involving that case as well. So tell us about that, Eva.
So I started it back in June, and I put my art on t-shirts, and I started a series on TikTok called A Shirt a Day, where I would draw a piece of art every single day, and I would show my followers how the process of making shirts. it took off pretty quickly, and it's called Ghost Cowboy. It's ghostcowboy.co, and there's new products every single day. I kind of just make whatever I want, and then I put it on a shirt. Sometimes it is pop culture t-shirts, and sometimes it's art. I typically lean towards the Western cowboy theme. But yeah, it's my business and I love it.
Fantastic. So, folks, if you're watching and you want to help out a young woman who deserves it, ghostcowboy.co, right? CO?
Yes.
You got it. Eva Benefield, again, so
Cute.
great to see you, to be able to smile. That is just fantastic and so inspiring.
Cute. Let's check it out. Look. Ghostcowboy.co. Here, let me put it in the link. There you go. In case anybody wants to, give some support. Let's see. She got some cute stuff. Mm. Cute, cute, cute. Let me see these bestsellers. Matchbox hoodie. Cute. Literal matchboxes, man. Cute. Go back to the next one. Can I get a kiss? I don't even know what that is or what that means. I'm too old for understanding what that means, apparently. Meowdy partner. It's cute. It says meowdy partner. Isn't that cute? Meowdy partner. Cowboy up and give me a big fat kiss on the lips. Oh, look, that's cute. Mermaids playing Go Fish. I'm sorry. That's super cute. All right. All right. Looks like she's got stickers, t-shirts, hoodies. I think I saw ball caps. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. So, but I am calling it a day for today. And let me take that disclaimer there off. And yeah, I'm going to call it a day. And considering it is 9:25 p.m. on the East Coast. So I'm going to scooch, but we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what the topic will be yet. I know there are a few different things going on. There's some trial that started. What is it? Hold on. What was it called? Something about a witch trial. Can somebody? I can't remember. I think QB mentioned that. Some young guy killed his mom because she was practicing witchcraft or something. I don't know. And then we have I don't know. We just got a handful of things. So, but this trial, I think, is supposed to start this next week. I don't know if they've already, you know, QB said, "Yo, that trial." I saw your message earlier about the dog too. Mm. Apparently, he unalived her pet dog as well. I mean, was the dog like practicing witchcraft too? Is that I don't understand. Anyway, but this trial is supposed to start this next week. Jury selection starts Tuesday. Okay. So we'll keep tabs on it. I don't know how long it's supposed to be. Hopefully it's not going to be a long trial because I don't know if I'm able to, not able, I'm able, but I don't know if I'm like ready, you know. Law and Crime showed the dog in her finger. What? What do you mean showed the dog in her finger? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? But shouldn't be a trial. For the witchcraft, the mom son thing, or the Black Swan? QB. 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 I'm out of coffee. That means it's time to shut this stream down, folks. Kidding, kidding, kidding. All right. The witchcraft one. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. But we're going to go, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. And for those of you that watch it on the replay, make sure to put a hashtag replay in the comments section down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with your friends. All the things. We're growing the channel. We're growing the channel, growing the channel. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know it's so weird being live with you guys so late in the evenings. Can't wait to get back to normal, daytime streams. Netflix is supposed to be getting a new documentary about Wade's ex. Who's Wade? Who's Wade? Wade Wilson? Was that his name? The dude that was in jail that has all the face tattoos? You'll have to let me know because I'm not sure. I don't know of any other. Okay, the tattoo face guy. That's what I thought. That's the only Wade that I know of at the moment. So creepy. Right? All right. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see what not sure what story or case or whatever we'll have on tap tomorrow, but it'll be something good, I'm sure. Something very interesting. So you guys have a safe night, and make sure you do all the YouTube things before you leave. I do need to close the poll. Where is Lauren to remind me about the poll? I miss you, Lauren. Lauren's like, well, you know what? If you would have normal daytime streams, I wouldn't have to miss them and watch them on the replay. So let's end the stream. I've got 19 votes. Ending the poll now. And the poll answers. Let me see here. Says, how much do you know about this case? That was the question. And my lighting is doing a weird thing. Every time I lean this way, it's like it bonk. You see that? Bonk. Does it do it when I, yeah, it does it when I come over. I have to like stay right here. Right here. So the question was, how much do you know about this case? And 63, wow, there were 19 votes. 63% of you said not a zip zilch. So me and you are in the same boat, right? 31% of you said I'll watch updates here and there. And 5% of you said I have followed from the beginning. So it's good to know. It's good to know that I am not alone with not knowing anything about this. So I'm glad. I'm glad to not be the only one. All right. I'm going to get, but I'll see you guys back tomorrow. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.